Welcome to the Fan1060.com. Rich Gray alongside Bob Kemp. And the Cardinals season opener victorious because of Kevin Kolb, basically. He comes in, leads the Cardinals to a drive, and then that's where it got kind of tricky in the end with the replacement officials. But first off, what was your overall take of the Cardinals 2016?
Well, pretty much what everybody predicted, Kevin Kolb in the victory formation in the game. So that's pretty much what everybody thought, right?
Right, yeah. That's probably not.
Well, he did a terrific job. The first passing through was incomplete to Fix. He did, so now he was 6 out of 7 after that. And, of course, turned out to be the winning touchdown. Wiz is right about here, trying to run down here and call timeout, but the replacement officials did not see him. Darn shoot heck, huh?
Yeah.
So, but Kolb did a really good job, and that's the one thing that he has done the best here the last couple of years, even going back to a couple games last year, the Dallas game, the Washington game, so forth. When they run that no huddle, he does very well with that. He gets them set up, and it seems to, as Fitzgerald said after the game, reads the defenses really well, and that happened today.
What was your take on Skelton before his injury? And but by the way, if you're watching this, we don't know the status yet. It'll be more tomorrow. Probably an official announcement on Monday in his press conference. What was your take on Skelton?
I think he did okay in the first half. He was terrible in the third quarter. They were terrible in the third quarter. He wasn't very good in the red zone, though. He was only 2 for 9 in the red zone. Missed a couple touchdowns that could have been to Williams. He tried to flip pass instead of throw a real pass, and he missed Jeff King down here for what would have been, I think, a pretty easy touchdown. So he could have done better there. Overall, the third quarter was a disaster. Lucky it wasn't 2 interceptions. The one that was in the end zone was nullified because of a penalty. They ended up getting a field goal out of that, and then it only made it 13-3 right after that was the Washington kickoff return. The Cardinals special teams almost got a beat here today. That's something that you're going to have to be really good at this year to compete. And Washington's kickoff and punt return put them in position to have 10 of their points, and the Cardinals are pretty lucky that they're not going to be able to play bad special teams and win very many games.
Yeah, that's very true. One last final point on the offense. The running game, which Wisnot was proud of in the preseason, didn't show up today.
Well, I think a little of that was misleading too, because a lot of that was William Powell in the second quarter and beyond in the preseason. So I don't know how much of that was legitimate. They didn't get much out of Beanie and Williams in the preseason, and I think Beanie just looks really slow, and he's not getting much accomplished. He didn't even play until the second quarter today.
Now, outside of Arizona, going through the rest of the state, it was a good football weekend. You had Arizona State winning last night, beating Illinois pretty handily. In fact, it was such a blowout, you got out of there a little early.
I left at halftime.
Which it was smart.
You gotta budget your time.
Right, it was smart because I stayed for the rest of the game.
Yes.
You really
Well, you have no choice.
Right, yeah,
Yes.
That's true, especially when you leave. But,
That's right.
What was your take on ASU for the first 2
Well,
games?
at first my take was in Illinois, they quit as soon as they found out Shieldhouse wasn't going to play, and it appears he didn't exactly make a real effort to play. He went out, ran around for a couple seconds, and then ran back in. And that was it for him. They declared him out, and I thought their team showed zero life in the first half. I think they got, I'm guessing, yelled at a little bit at halftime, and I think they kind of showed up a little more in the second half. But that being said, and the most important thing last night is that Kelly is very efficient still. Eubank was perfect as far as passing the ball last night. I think the worst thing last night is that their rush defense was horrible. They allowed over 5 yards per carry. If you take out the sacks, they allowed 274 yards rushing to a team that can't run the ball and had one dimension. They couldn't throw it because Shieldhouse wasn't playing. So I think that's a real concern for ASU in the future.
And another thing was another poor tackling. We saw that a lot towards the end.
The first guy almost missed every time. In fact, it was they got some sacks and so forth. They tackled the quarterbacks well. They didn't tackle the running backs well.
Now, down south in Tucson, Arizona, Rich Rod gets his signature win, something he never got in Michigan. But he gets it 2 games in Tucson with the shellacking of Oklahoma State.
You like that word, shellacking?
Yes,
I've
I
noticed.
do.
It's a good word.
It was a very good
It's a
word. But again, a lot of it was because of how Oklahoma State played too, which wasn't very
That's
good.
true. Even though I thought the U of A showed twice, they fell behind 14-0, and they could have really checked it in at that point. And then they had they got 30 straight points, only give up 2 straight touchdowns, and it was 30-28. And then they took control again. So I think they kind of won that game twice. So in the fact that they just kicked their butts in the fourth quarter, that got my attention. And of course, Dean Carey from Beacon and Durham High School, the Harvard of the Southwest, and Athletic Factory He had over 100 yards in the fourth quarter last night. So they did a nice job. So I thought they'd hang in there. I thought they'd score some, but that was a little ridiculous. Even Oklahoma State had the turnovers and the 15 penalties.
Yeah, it looked like a Dennis Erickson.
They had no turnovers and 4 penalties.
Oklahoma State, they looked like Dennis Erickson.
Yeah, even though a lot of those were pass interference penalties, so they weren't. There was one guy that got 2 personal fouls on 1 play. That's not an easy accomplishment. So there was some of that, but they had some strange stuff going on.
And yes, we are aware that NAU beat UNLV their first FCS. But if you want analysis for that,
call McKay.
Yes, call Kemp McKay. That's exactly what I was going to say.
I got his number here.
So what should we expect in your show Monday morning? Tomorrow morning.
Well, we'll have Wizenhut's press conference for one thing, so we'll know what's up with Skelton. It didn't look good. It's not good when you put a boot on him in the field, but Kolb didn't seem to think it was a really long-term thing when Kolb talked to us after the game, so hopefully that's true. So we'll have analysis, obviously, from all 3 victories, minus NAU, and then we'll have the Wizenhut press conference at 12:05 tomorrow in the Sports Zone.
Again, call McCabe if you want that NAU recap.
That's right. I got his number right.
So for Bob Kemp, again, the Cardinals win 20-16. We'll have more in the Sports Zone.
Number 1-800-NAU wins would be his number.
He's probably still partying in Flagstaff.
Was he in Flagstaff
I
for
have
the
no
weekend?
idea. I just assumed that he was.
Oh, well, he probably went there after they won.
Yeah, he probably
They didn't play it. They didn't play there, but they went there.
Oh, yeah. So again, for Bob
He's at
Kemp,
Granny's.
He's at Granny's.
That's right.
Yeah, swing by Granny's, dancing on the dance floor.
Been done before.
For Bob Kemp, I'm Rich Gray. Again, the Cardinals win 20-16. More on the Sports Zone tomorrow morning on the Fan AM 1060 at 10 a.m.